Former news anchor and spokesperson Ayanda Allie has released her debut album titled We the People, and I'm so honored that she's joining us now in studio to have a conversation about this new project. Ayanda, welcome.
It's such a pleasure to be with you. Thanks so much for having me.
Pleasure to be with you. So We the People is the new album. When and how long did you work on this album?
You know, it's so funny because people ask me, where did the music bug bite? It's something that I started even before broadcasting, believe it or not. In high school, I used to sing in the church choir. I used to feature in a couple of hip-hop tracks that were released in the early 2000s, believe it or not. And then going to varsity, I then studied communication science, and then I got into broadcasting and then government communication. So I always had this desire to return to music. The timing was just never right. So when I took a break to study, to finish my master's, I had a little bit of extra time in between the books, and I thought, hey, why not go back to studio and see if something can come out of this? And I'm glad I did, because it's not bad if I do say so myself. It was also so healing for me and such a release to really be able to put these songs together.
How difficult was it to put the music out there, especially when most of the people didn't know that you are a musician? Often when you hear musicians and people who have released multiple albums, they'll tell you it's a very difficult process it's like you're putting your soul out there because everybody's going to listen and have an opinion about it. How was that process for you of deciding, that's it, I've worked on this project and it's not ready for the world to hear?
Look, it was very difficult. I'm not going to lie. It was very difficult also because we become typecast, right? Yeah. People know you because of a certain thing that you do. Either you read the news or you speak on behalf of the minister or you do X, Y, and Z. And immediately when you break out of that mold, it becomes a shock to the system with, okay, are you singing now? Why would you want to do this? So at the back of your mind are people's opinions, right? And what we call in the township, batho batla. What will people say? What is going on? Is this a midlife crisis? But I think for me, I kept on seeing so many greats pass on. Just now, the other day, we had to say goodbye to Gloria Bosman, memorial services and well wishes, etc. And not too long before that, we saw AKA, etc. So many great artists who had done exceptional work. You can discuss and debate the merits of their lives later, but for me, the work that they put out there, speaks louder than anything else. And I thought to myself, what will I be able to say one day when I am 6 feet under? I was able to express myself in a similar fashion. So I thought it's time to get out of my comfort zone, to take these songs away from my mind and my heart and the shower, and to put them for everybody to see. It was very, very difficult, but I thought the winning for me is in the ability to just release them. So whatever happens, whatever critique comes of them, that's secondary to me. For me, the greatest fulfillment is being able to release the songs.
I've had the opportunity to listen to the album, and I think I've told you already that I'm really impressed. And I think the reason I'm even more impressed is because I didn't know that you sing. So when you didn't know that someone sings and they sing so well, it's a lovely surprise. There are songs like We the People, there's Broken Rainbow, there's Marikana, there's Roads. You seem to have made a decision to write specific songs about specific events and issues. Why was that your approach? You could have just written about just love.
Yeah, and I mean, there would have been nothing wrong with that. But I think the times that we're living in, my goodness, Clement, they call for us to come together. And for me, the only way that I could do that was to use song. They call for us to take a look at where we are, at who we are, and what we've become. I mean, the previous interview that you just had now with Masilo about the life of a whistleblower, that's a champion, that's a hero. For me, she's akin to the people who took up arms back in the day, or who went to the trenches, or who went to exile, or who did something for the liberation of our country. And that's what is needed. I mean, I looked at the issue of the pit latrine toilets, as you mentioned, education. We can talk about crime. We can talk about gender-based violence. I looked at where we are as a people, and I thought, I don't have the power to make a difference, but perhaps if I sing something, it may spark some debate. It may conjure up someone's imagination to make a change where they are. And if each and every one of us are responsible for a small little area, our own little sphere of influence, then maybe, just maybe, we can begin to see a wider difference throughout the country. So for me, it was a small part to just say, I need to write about these things that grieve my heart, these things that vex my spirit, and the things that really break this fabric of our society. And if I can write about it, maybe it might inspire somebody else to do something also where they can. And
I love that you're holding a mirror to us as society. I mean, listening to the tracks, I had to reflect a lot as well about where we are as a country. When did you get the opportunity to write the songs? You have been busy. When you were an anchor, you were busy. When you were a spokesperson, you were busy traveling around.
Yeah.
So when did you find the time?
Believe it or not, I always wrote.
Yeah.
I would write just after a news bulletin, you know, if I read a story that was gut-wrenching for whatever reason. For me, my release was going back home and just sitting and writing exactly how I felt. That's how I wrote Marikana. You know, just seeing the bloodshed that was there. I had no way of expressing myself or releasing the anxiety and the stress except to put pen to paper. You know, I'd be traveling with Minister Balula in the highways of byways of life, and whatever we would see in the country, that reflection that was staring right back at me, I would write about. So I always wrote. In fact, over the years, I've been collecting these songs. Some of these songs go back to 10 years or so, you know, and so for me, it was a release. I wrote some poetry as well. I never thought I would release it because I thought to myself, maybe it's just something I'll just sing at karaoke or something.
Oh, no,
but I'm so glad
it's amazing
I had
poetry.
Thank you.
It's amazing
Thank
poetry.
you so much.
What's next? Are you going to be focusing on music? Are you going to pop up as the president's spokesperson?
No.
We're going to see you reading the news?
No, not right now. I'll tell you that for free. I think the music for me has become such a healing, cathartic experience for me. I definitely want to use it as an anchor for everything else that I do. I am working on television shows, but they also speak to, you know, social cohesion, nation building. They speak to community development and upliftment. So everything that I do from here on in will speak to that, whether it's the development, that work that I do through Bukobami Youth Center or TV shows or any production of that sort or any book, by the way, that I'm working on. There is a book coming, but everything that I do will stem from, I think, the passion that I have really for people and for development of human beings, and I think for this beautiful country of ours. So the music will be an anchor that holds these things together. I'm really enjoying the place that it's taking me to.
Who did you work with in this album?
I worked with a man who's known as Goldsmith Chidi. He's from Nigeria. I loved the different influence that he brought through because it was like a mix of all these different countries and the experiences that he's had in different parts of the continent. Likewise with myself. I also worked with Malay, by the way. Goldsmith produced Malay's second album. She is my word. I think one of the greatest vocalists that we have. The ability she has to really transcend people's emotions into song is just unparalleled. So I worked with her as well, just guiding me and giving me some tips there. I'm excited about the album, and you know, a lot of people have had some interesting things to say about it. There's plenty of room for growth, but I think for me, as I said, the fact that it's out there and it's there for people to consume and even critique is exciting for me.
The book, what is that going to be about?
The book is called How to Save a Life. The book is about my experience as a development practitioner working in Bukobami Youth Center. We are 8 years in. The organization is in Dobsonville in Soweto. We do youth development programs, and we've worked with so many other amazing organizations who've partnered together. So it's not just Ayanda's voice, it's the voice of so many different stakeholders who are on the ground, who are either in corporate, who are in civil society, who are in government, and who are making a difference where they are. So we've come together, put our thoughts together to say, hey, if someone wants to do something interesting or make an impact where they are, they might want to read this book and get some tips, learn from our mistakes as well, because we become very vulnerable in how we've succeeded and perhaps not succeeded in parts of the work that we do. So I'm excited about that coming up as well. But as I said, it anchors back to what we do through We the People as well.
So We the People, how can people get in touch with it?
So you go to Miss Allie, that's ms.allie, Allie's A-L-L-I-E. It's on YouTube, it's on Tidal, it's on iTunes, it's on all major, Spotify, it's on all major music digital platforms. I'm available on social media as well, Miss Allie. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. Please do get in touch with me. I love the debates that are coming out of some of the songs, and for me, that's the most important part.
Thank you so much, Ali, for coming through, and congratulations on this new project. It's really a beautiful album.
Thank you very much for having me.
And I'm not saying that because I'm being nice to you and you're on television.
Because I'm here. Thank you.
Ayanda Allie, go check out that music. You can check it out on Spotify, on all the other platforms. We the People is the title of the album.